Hey everybody, good to see you. Excited to be on with you for another power hour.
Hey everyone.
Let's get us both on here. You're like off to the side.
It's fine.
Okay. All right, good to see everybody. Excited. If you are coming on, make sure you're muted. Try to find the little button to mute everybody. Can we hear us? We are unmuted now.
Oh, I thought
all right, make sure everybody's muted. And we'll get started. Okay, cannot believe that it is already Thanksgiving week. We have big plans. Okay, good, Dana can hear us. All right, everybody's popping on. We're gonna give it just a second because the number keeps going up a little bit. And, oh, hey, Steph. Awesome. So anybody have big Thanksgiving plans this week? Got some big work to do. Corporate's putting out a bunch of deals for us, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, all right. Well, we're just going to dive in because we don't want to take up too much of your time waiting. Because your time is valuable, right? Got work to do. Oh, I love it. Steph Kyle's coming home. That's awesome. Okay, so first let's talk about those corporate deals that we have going on. Let's see where we're at. Sorry, just trying to get all coordinated everywhere. So the big deals that we have going this week. Today, they rolled it out last night. They're going to roll it out at midnight, and the deals are going to be good from midnight to midnight, and that is Mountain Standard Time. And they are some really good deals. The one that they've started with is our skincare line, which is $159. If you guys aren't familiar with the skincare line, definitely go and check that out. Lots of really great products, just really well priced. If you know skincare line with any other companies, especially even going to the store, I could like bathe in the serum. I love that stuff so much and use it for more than just my face, like dry lips. I know that's on your face, but I use it for dry lips. I know like people use it on their hands or their elbows or, any of those dry feet. Like, we've all been through the summertime and had our like flip-flops on, that kind of thing. Let's see.
Yeah, the skincare line's been around for a little while, but it's really good product. So it kind of, sometimes we forget about it because it's been around for a little bit. It's a good thing to keep fresh and keep on your mind at all times when you have people that you can share that with, because it is really good products and they're made with great ingredients. So they're super safe, of course, because that's what we do at True Vision. So just definitely keep that in your mind to share with people.
Yep. Women that go for skincare line, that kind of thing, but Robert has used it. Lots of guys, we've got some pictures of guys using it as well with like the minute facelift, little crow's feet lines around, that kind of thing, that it works for everybody. It's not just a women's line. So guys need to take care of their skin too. Dana's asking, it says to download a video in the email and I can't get it to work. Is it an app? I was able to, I know that there was some problems between the, I guess it works really well on a computer, and then some people are having issue on mobile. I did download the app. It is, what's it called? We Collect, and it's just, I don't know, you won't be able to see it on my phone, but you'll see, if you just click, I think there's a link there that I just followed, downloaded the app that is called We Collect, and then you can download it into that. From that on my phone, I haven't been able to just send the link to someone through text, but I have been able to send it through Messenger, and I have been able to share it to Facebook. So down at the bottom, there's like that little U, I think it's like a U and an arrow up or something where it's like a share option. And if you click that on my phone, I'm using an iPhone, it gives a bunch of options that you can send it through Messenger or Facebook. There were a few other options that popped up down there, but those are what I'm working on. So download that while we're on, if you can, and then see if that works for you, and then we can kind of troubleshoot if not. But yeah, the video is really good. It's a really short video. Again, shout out to Scott Dastrup, who puts those together I just think that's upping our game big time in marketing because those are so good. And it says to click the link above. That's going to be your Bitly link or your shopping cart link. So if you go to truevisiontools.com, you can, the very first thing is Tuesday's Black Friday deal, and just create a link for that specifically and then sharing those. Personally, I don't put those links out, and I know lots of people don't put those links on Facebook. Facebook doesn't like to redirect people away from Facebook. And so I'm just going to put something on I'm updating my story. My story from yesterday's got about 2 hours left on it, and I'm going to be updating everything with the new skincare stuff after the call. And so when I do that, I'm going to post to my page and say, hit me up for the link with the video. Yeah, Cassandra, dry hands. I love it. I love the serum for everything. Anything dry, ends of your hair, if you've got like dry ends or whatever, people are putting it on there too. So ways that we can promote the Black Friday deals that are happening all week long. And let's see, I need to download video too. I can't either. Yes, try that app and see if the app works for you stuff. So ways to promote the deals. Number one, a live video. I saw Elisa do one this morning, and she just went over exactly what it is. It's personable. People can hear you. They can hear how excited you are about it. You can tell, little stories about, like I did with the, I use serum on my lips, that kind of thing. So she just talked about the products in the skincare line kit. She showed each one of them. She showed the little bag and how, that's great for gift giving. Really nice presentation there. And then she talked about, it's $159. That's the price. It's a great price for what it is in skincare line. And then on top of that, you're going to get these 2 free oils. And then she gave some benefits of each of those oils. And so that's a great way to do it, to connect with your people, just kind of talking about the product there.
Yeah, lives get a lot of viewers too. Facebook still pushes them pretty good. Pretty hard. So definitely use it if you haven't done lives before, or you've only done a couple and they make you nervous. Don't worry about it. People understand that. Your people that are watching you understand that, you're doing a live, something that they probably don't want to do themselves, because they're scared to do it. So people get that and understand it. So don't worry about it. Just do it.
So yeah, definitely. I was reading the questions. Do you wait for yesterday's story to end to post next day, or just on top of each other? I am still learning with stories, so I don't know that, what I say is what to do. My thinking is that if people have seen the first couple, then I think I'm going to get more viewership if I start the new ones after the old ones have kind of cycled through. I know that some people keep a running story going, and I think that that's important. But for me right now, what I'm trying is, yesterday's was about CBD. And so I wanted it to be about CBD and not about everything else. And so personally, I had that as one story. And when that's over, I'm going to be switching to skincare line for today. So that's kind of my game plan on it. You guys can weigh in on in the chat too, if you're doing it differently and you're seeing that it's better to just keep it going, to overlap stories, that kind of thing. But my thinking is kind of keeping those stories separate. And so, because if somebody starts watching a CBD story and they're like, I don't care about CBD, but I could catch them with skincare, maybe they won't even get to that skincare because they didn't want to watch about CBD, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And again, it's your viewership is different than someone else's too. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense with when you're talking about specific products, keeping them separate. But if you have other things mixed into your story, like maybe just some lifestyle things too, don't worry so much about that. Just see what your viewership likes. You'll notice when you start seeing how many people are actually viewing your stories, and then you'll know what's working, what's catching attention, what's bringing people, catching their attention to bring them to the next slide. And then just keep working with that, just keep adjusting as you need to.
Right. So last week we were on vacation. And so those kind of things, when we're posting about vacation things, those are just going to, overlap. You're just going to keep kind of adding as they happen, or, as you want to share things. So I think it just kind of depends on the story that you're doing at the moment. But yeah, like he said, watching that, and we're going to actually talk a lot about stories today. So watching your viewership and seeing, okay, I had 60 people watch that slide had 52, that one only had 31. They clearly didn't like this one. I didn't keep them engaged. from this slide to the next. And so just, you know, for us, if we put our daughter out there, we get viewership. She's just cute. People like her, you know, family things like that. We've got, you know, pictures of our boys doing things or, you know, playing soccer, whatever. For whatever reason, people connect with that with us and they keep watching. You know, I put up something else and they're like, no, I don't care about that. So then I take note of that. Like, okay, less of that and more of our cute kids. They're really cute. So I get it. Yes, Steph, you can make a bit.ly for today's deal. Just go to True Vision Tools. It's the very first thing there. And it's only going to work for the 24 hours. It's going to be over at midnight tonight, Mountain Standard. So yeah, definitely make that link and send that out.
And keep in mind when you do that, when you send it out, to let people know, like, hey, this is only good for the 24-hour period. It's not going to be good after that. Because, you know, you get those people that, you know, get the link and they're like, oh, I forgot to order it yesterday. I'm going to order it tomorrow, you know, or whatever. And no, it won't work. So make sure you let them know, like, hey, get on this right, order this right now. I'm going to send you the link, you order it now.
Yep. And that's leading into the next part of how you can share it is messaging people directly. You've got people that have asked about the skincare line before and they, oh, $159, that's a little steep or whatever. Well, now you get $54 more value in this kit if you buy it today. And so people like that free, they like the value. And so using terms like that to connect with them. And so that's going to be one of our first like official tasks for today is go message 3 people directly about the deal for today. You can use that video if you already have it. Like I said, if you send it through that We Collect app, you should be able to forward it on through your messenger. Or if you don't have that video working, it is a really good video. I think the video is going to catch a lot of attention, but just message 3 people now to talk about the deal.
And be real strategic about who you message. So, you know, you've got an aunt that you've never messaged before about your products, but you know that she's really into like fashion and looking good, you know, whatever. Message her, you know, or you know through your Facebook, you've been seeing posts from so-and-so that, you know, seems to be really always looking good, always up, you know, dressed up, looking nice, whatever. That's the kind of person you want to message.
Or if you've got a friend, you know, that we're getting older and like there's all those like gifts out there, those memes about like if you liked these shoes, you probably need to get, and they're like the shoes that we wore when we were like middle school, high school, whatever. If that's your thing, it's time for skincare. Message your friends and be like, dude, where did these under eye bags come from? Where did these, you know, crow's feet lines come from? I found this, it's working really well for me. Just that, you know, and you don't want to do that to anybody. You don't want to offend anybody, but like your close friends that you can be like, what the heck is going on with our faces? Like, where did these come from? Those would be people you could kind of message to.
Yep.
And think gift giving ideas. That was something that Elisa did in her post, and I loved it. Was, you know, she told the people that were watching, okay, so if you've got people that say it was a wife that wanted the skincare line and she wanted it for her Christmas present, she would tag her husband and, you know, hey, live, you can do that kind of thing. You can message people, those friends of yours, and say, hey, I know that your husband tells me all the time, you know, he's always asking me, what does Lacey want for Christmas? I don't even know. She's probably told you. What does she want? Tell them I want the skincare line. If you guys have any questions, any of that stuff, just drop that over in the comments too. And definitely tell us when you're finished with that task so we can keep moving.
for a second.
All right, you guys finishing up with that so we can keep moving. All right, so another option that, or another thing to keep in mind about these deals of the day is that we want to focus our posts and our stories around the deals of the day. So if our deal of the day is the skincare line, maybe today we don't talk about the combo. The combo is amazing, but our skincare line is also amazing and not talked about nearly enough, I feel like, because it is so good. We have so many great products. And so, for today, personally, we'll be posting about the skincare line. If we make product posts on our page, we'll be doing, before and afters and stuff in our stories and showing people that and directing. If we make a post, or when I make a post, it's going to direct people back to my story and to get them to see the before and afters. And so just whatever, I don't know the other deals that corporate's putting out this week. I know that they're going to be awesome because they always are. But just kind of thinking that direction and planning accordingly, posting accordingly. So when we're focusing on stories, I know that stories can be intimidating. I know that they can be hard to keep up with all the time. Personally, I am trying to get better at them. So I'm trying to really focus on them, and I'm watching other people who are doing them. And, I'm not reinventing the wheel. It's really important, I feel like, because our days are really busy. We all have things going on, and it's the stories, to make them good, they do take a little bit of time. And so I am watching people who I feel like their stories are incredible, and I'm just modeling mine after theirs. And it's working, you guys. There's a lot more engagement and having lots more conversations with people. And I'm seeing the people that are interested and who are paying attention. So maybe they aren't asking me questions outright about my products or whatever, but they are clicking through all of my slides. And so it's a good way to be able to see that. And so we want to work a little bit on building a story. If you've not done it before, the two apps that I use the most are Pic Collage and WordSwag. Those are just the ones that I gravitate towards back towards. I've tried others, and there are others. I'm sure I'm, again, not amazing at this, and so I'm just learning. So if you've got better tools, definitely use them. Post them in the comments too if you have apps that you use for your stories or for your pictures or for your marketing or whatever that you love. But if you're looking for people to look at, Kaylee, Alisa, Alicia, Allie, those are the four people that daily I'm going and looking at their stories to see what they're doing. And they're putting out great content. I am, snagging them, taking screenshots, whatever, and then I'm recreating those with my own pictures because my audience wants to see me, right? They're connecting with me, and your audience wants to connect with you.
You want to copy the method, not the person.
Right. So yeah, Canva. I've heard of Canva. I think that I have it downloaded at one point. I haven't used it in a long time, but Canva, it was a good one too. So yeah, I'm watching their stories. I'm like, man, those are so good. And so then I'm just kind of recreating them. And, we don't want to just take all their content, right? We don't want to just use every single picture that they use, but using the idea is great. And nobody's going to be upset with you for using the idea, right? And so you want to have your stories to be fun, Do you want them to be interesting? It's a story, and they call them stories for a reason. You want them to be turning those pages. You want them to keep clicking through it. You want them to keep watching. And so ways to do that. So I've been, let's see, we always teach duplication. So great. Yes, definitely. Thanks, Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, I just kicked off my notes. Okay, so some of the things that I've been learning about stories that are really important. One is engagement features. So they have polls and they have questions, and that's important. That's a way that your audience can engage with you. They can answer questions that you have or give their opinions. People love to give their opinions, right? And so another thing that you want to keep in mind is to have text on your videos. So if you're posting a video of yourself into your story, a lot of times we can't listen to videos, right? Somebody's at work and they can't like actually listen, but they can watch your story go by. They're like sneaking it. So you want to make sure to have text over your video to kind of hit the bullet points of what you're talking about. The location is another option. When you click on adding something to your story, you can click on location and then it will tell like where you are. And you can do that if you're at a cool location, you know, you're at an amusement park, we were on the beach last week. So I tagged it several times that we were on the beach. One, just so people can see where you're at and, you know, oh, that's beautiful, that's cool, I'd like to go there, whatever. But also if somebody is searching, and I'm learning this, so this is how I understand it. If somebody's searching, you know, the Guggenheim, and they like search that, it can pull up your video because you've tagged yourself there. So it's just a way to be like, oh, Lacey was just there, or, you know, Robert just did that cool thing, whatever. It's a cool way to do that.
And it also can create a rapport with your viewers too. If they're people that you've met through cold market, or, you know, you don't know them personally. If there's a location that you're at that maybe they've been to and they love it, and then all of a sudden there's that connection, they message you and they say, hey, where are you at? I've been there, I love that place. Actually, one of my posts, I had a message from an old friend from a long time ago. He's like, where's that beach at? And I told him, and he's like, oh wow, I moved up and I'm not too far away from it, but we had just arrived back home, so I couldn't have connected with him. But it opened up conversation, and we were you know, able to text back and forth a little bit, and we hadn't for, you know, a long time. So
well, that happened in South Africa too. You tagged something and someone said they lived close, or you have to check out such and such a place that's near there. And then GIFs and emojis, they're just fun, and so adding those, it helps. You know, it's not just pictures that are going by, having like a little moving. If we have iPhones, I heard from someone this morning that didn't have an iPhone, I'm not sure, Android, Samsung, something, that the GIF option wasn't there. So if it is, and you know where it is and it's hiding, let me know, because we couldn't find it this morning for them. But
if not, we're sorry you don't have an iPhone.
Stop it. So the next, we're going to work on these stories together. So let's take a quick selfie. We're going to work in one of those apps that I mentioned, or one that you like. And we're just going to introduce ourselves so that we can put that onto your Facebook story or Instagram story. You know, and it's just going to say, so snap that picture. You can use Snapchat also, you know, use a filter if you want to. Lots of times I know I don't have makeup and stuff on now, obviously, but I don't want to post a picture of me looking like I, you know, just got out of bed onto Facebook. And so Snapchat filters are fun for that. He's not a big fan of like the dogs and things, but go ahead, use it if you want to. But probably for this one, maybe not the dog, kind of be a little bit more serious, because you're introducing your actual self to people. And I did one, I don't know, last week or something, and I just said something, hi, I'm Lacey, and then just told a little bit about myself, really quick bullet points. So hi, I'm Lacey, married to my favorite human. I've, you know, 3 pieces of my heart, or whatever, talking about my kids, a 6-figure earner from my phone. So whatever it is about you, you know, tell a little bit about, you know, I'm a cat mom, I quit my job, or this is my side hustle, or, you know, not stressed about Christmas shopping this year, something like that, that kind of introduces yourself. So I know that that's going to take a few minutes, but I think it's important that we work on those, we work on stories. That's kind of where Facebook, Instagram are going. Those little snippets that people can see quickly, and it builds rapport, it builds trust when people can kind of connect with you that way, learn things about you.
And create a little curiosity too when you say, you know, I'm working on my side hustle, or I get to, you know, work from home on my phone. You know, people are like, wait a minute, what is that? You know, and you're not answering that question right then, but they're going to start tuning in more because they're curious.
Dana, sorry. The apps that I use often are Pic Collage and Word Swag. Pic Collage, I feel like is easier when I want to put multiple pictures on, or I want to have the pictures kind of where I want them to be. But I'm not a big fan of the text in Pic Collage. I really like the text features in Word Swag. And so sometimes what I like to do is to put the pictures I want, create like the background picture, because you can only have like one picture that you're working with. It's not a Pic Collage, so you can't have lots of pictures that you're putting onto it. It's just one picture as a background. They do have a lot of really good free options. You can search and use, you know, free pictures in the background, which they have pretty ones. But I like to try to use my own, especially in stories. And so I'll create the picture over in Pic Collage and save it as the background that I want, and then I'll put that as my picture. So if it's, you know, a collage of, you know, Robert and the kids or something, then I'll put it over into Word Swag and then use the text feature in Word Swag. Awesome, Stephanie. I love it. Someone is already chatting with me about the skincare since messaging
Excellent.
them. That's
Nice.
awesome. So good. You picked a good person. And I know I'm playing with, I just got it because it was like a in Word Swag, it was a story swag. So I don't know if that's going to be even better. I feel like maybe it is, but I haven't played with it much, where it's got like moving features, kind of more of like a video to put up for your story. So I'm still playing with that one. But if you guys have used that, let me know, because I'd like to know if you like it. see, Tanina, I'm seeing several different word swag apps. Is the one you see free? Could you show us what your app looks like, please? Yes, absolutely. So the one that I use, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the phone or not, is that one. So it is like teal blue, just says word swag. There is a free option. I think that I use it so much that I, in the very beginning, paid, I don't know, $1.99, $2.99, whatever, so that I didn't have to have their little logo on it, which you don't have to do that for sure, but that's all it is. And if you haven't used it before, I can kind of go through it with you. You can just take a picture of something you're seeing. You can go to your library, which is just going to be your pictures that you can put in there, or you can go to the free photos. And so you can see there's lots of free photo options that they just give in their opening little first screen or whatever. But then at the top too, there's search, and I've searched for lots of things in there and just kind of found whatever I wanted. And use that, you know, if I want a scene, a mountain scene or whatever, and I haven't been to the mountains recently, so I don't have that picture, then I can go search for something like that. But I just like to use my photos most often. And I like that you can do different kind of text. You can add layers of text, that kind of thing there. So how's everybody doing on your first picture? Don't stress, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, you want it to look nice, but I know that when I started using Pic Collage, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I look back now in my memories and I'm like, oh, that was really bad. But I've grown a lot in my ability to do, you know, better pictures, better. So it's not going to be perfect, but you will get better as you go.
Yeah. And if you wait to be, you know, perfect at it, then you'll never get started. So it's better to start now. And then, like we say in this business, you learn while you earn.
It's true.
So you can just keep learning and growing, and people see that and they relate with, you know, maybe it's not perfect. That's very relatable. You know, because we're so used to seeing the, you know, on TV, the perfect polished model type actors and actresses, and we're like, we couldn't be that, you know. So people actually gravitate towards the real. So just be you,
for sure.
You know, and don't worry about making a mistake. Just try.
I love it, Steph. She said, me too, Kitty used to fuss at me. Mine are better now. They've grown. I can tell, like with all of us, that, you know, they've grown along the way. So I love that. And Steph shared hers to her story. That's awesome. Let's see. We will probably keep going, I guess. So you kind of get the idea there. Maybe your next slide is something like, let's see. Yes, Steph, I'd rather jump in imperfectly than do nothing. Absolutely. Doing nothing is not getting any of us paid, right? So we want to do something. So maybe your next slide. For this one, you can do, you know, another picture of yourself or whatever's around you, or, you know, just a, I don't know, pretty scene. I put a picture of like the beach or whatever, and put some text over it for one that I'm going to do later. But I'm able to do this because of the incredible products I share, and these are some of my friends who've had success. So what we're setting up is like an in-between slide where we're going to start posting some testimony pictures. So you can make something like that. To put, again, that free option for pictures in WordSwag would be really good. So you just pick one of their kind of basic backgrounds. Maybe it's, you know, you kind of want to theme it around a color, or if you're doing, you know, I keep talking about the beach because we were just there. But if you're doing kind of a beachy vibe, maybe you want it to be that. If it's wintertime, you want to do Christmas or Thanksgiving, that kind of thing, then maybe you know, kind of theming it because you want it to be cohesive. You want it to be nice to watch, right? So kind of do an in-between slide there. And then, like I mentioned, we'll do some testimonies. So I think that from what I've been seeing, really good length is maybe 7 to 10 slides. Like, you don't want to get super long because we've all done it where we're like looking at somebody's I hope we've all done it and I'm not just a terrible person. But we're looking and we're like, okay, is this going to end? No. Okay. I'm going to go to the next one. Like, I can't keep looking at whatever. So we don't want people to do that. We want them to see through because we're going to have reasons for each of our slides.
Yeah. It's like the same thing with our lives where, people's attention spans are shorter. They're trying to just jam in a quick little bit on their phone because they've got a couple minutes while they're waiting at, in line at the drive-through, whatever, so they're just looking quick. So you want to keep that in mind. So your lives, you want to keep them shorter. Your stories, you want to keep them, like she said, 7 to 10 slides so they can get through them, fairly quick, get to the, and see the point, what you're trying to get across.
Yep. And part of what we're getting to is like call to action posts. And so you want to make sure that they get there, and having a couple of those mixed in. So having them in the middle, having them at the end is a good thing to do too. So it's kind of getting ahead of ourselves because you're making that one slide. So if you make the one that kind of talks about you're setting it up to share some testimonies. And then we have tons of testimonies, right? We've got lots of them, whether they be in groups, if your group allows you to share outside of your group, or your own story is really important. So if you can share anything, if you're like, oh, I haven't had a weight loss story. Let's see. Yay, Donna, good job. If you're like, oh, I don't have a weight loss story, I don't have anything that I can show in a picture, you smiling and saying, I don't have a headache today, that's the first time in a really long time, or something like that, that you can share something about why you love the products.
Donna's got the popcorn too.
Nice.
Donna, I see your popcorn. I'm going to have to go get myself a bag after this. I love it.
It's Robert's favorite.
Yeah, white cheddar. That's me all day.
I like that shirt too. That's a good shirt. Okay, so nice. Love it. Donna is true out.
Mm-hmm.
So when putting up the pictures, it's again using word swag, using Pic Collage, something like that, where you can put some text. Those are just really pretty, right? So if I would put like my picture and I'd be like, Lacey's lost over 30 pounds at the top, and then at the bottom just be like, no more daily headaches. She's got energy to play with her kids, whatever. And like, it sets it off really nicely. It's really pretty when it's done that way, I feel like. And again, keeps people wanting to click through it. If they can all, like for me personally, I will do like the picture and then a white background and black text on the top and bottom or something like that. And I'll do like 2 or 3 testimonies where they all pretty much look like that. And so it's uniform. Again, it's nice. It's pretty to look at. Keeps me clicking through other people's stories when I see things like that, where it's not all, chaotic. When it's chaotic and all over the place, then I don't know. It doesn't work for me. Maybe it works for you. So, kind of finding what you like is good too. Let's see. Is there a limit on the number of slides you can use in a story? I don't think so. I've seen people do a lot.
But again, you want to remember people's attention span being shorter, so you don't want to go too many. You want to keep it, you want to find that sweet spot with your viewership. Again, watch your viewership and see, because maybe 10 is too many. So you need to back it down. Maybe 7 is right on. Or maybe if you do 5 and you see that you have a lot of viewership all the way through those 5, you could add in a couple more. So just play with it and just adjust as you go through.
Let's see. Alicia gave us a task to do yesterday, and I couldn't get all the slides to go. I wonder. I'm not sure, because I saw that task also, and I think that I used pretty much all of them, and I think that was on her story, so I think that it's allowed. I'm not sure why it wouldn't have. Yeah, maybe reach out to Alicia, or to, if there's an upline in between you, and just kind of ask that question too, and see if they have any feedback, Phyllis. I'm not sure why. I've not seen any limit. I've seen some people with like 20, 30 different slides for their stories. So I'm not sure why that would happen. Then, so after you've done like a couple of testimonies, then have a call to action and engagement post. And so having something with a poll. I did a CBD one a few days ago, and it was just on one of my slides that I'd already created. And when I put it on there, then there's the option. There's like a little kind of Post-it note thing up in the left-hand corner, and you click on that, and then there's sometimes it comes up automatically, but it is ask a question, a poll, location, GIF, time, all that kind of stuff that you can kind of stamp it with. And so you can edit those polls. And so you put something like, tried CBD, and then one of them, make sure both of your options are positive. You want one to say, haven't tried it yet, but interested or something. It's a small amount, so you kind of have to play with the words. Small amount of text that you can actually put in the little button. But have one where people are ready to try it, and then one with like, I have more questions. Because when people vote on that, then that stays up there on your story, and it shows like 50% have used it and loved it, 50% have more questions. If it's 50% have used it and loved it, and 50% say, I hate CBD, like, yeah, it's probably not what you want on your story. So, we always try to keep things positive, and so not posting any sort of negative option for people to choose, kind of a no or an I don't or whatever. But changing that into I have questions. So that's been really good for me to have those conversations with people, because they say I have questions, then I private message them. If they are like, I hate CBD, then they continue on and they don't have an answer to the poll, right? Which is fine, and they can keep going. But if they are interested, then I definitely want to talk with them. Yeah, I'm just looking at stories now. Here's a girl who's doing her hair. It's probably video. I mean, the first part is video, but probably a lot of it is video. And I'd say there's probably 25 little segments up there.
There's a lot. So I don't know, is there like a limit on how fast you can add that many? Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
I wouldn't think there would be, but it's possible.
Yeah, I might get confused on how quickly you add them. Then let's keep going. You guys can keep working after we're all done. But another tip with your stories that I saw from Kaylee, and I absolutely love it, I think it's brilliant, is to message your viewers. So she did it one day. She had 250 people who watched her story, and then she messaged a bunch of them. So I started doing that. The key points to remember: messaging people who aren't already on your team. You know, I don't need to message Donna and say, thanks for watching my story. Donna's already on my team. You know, I love her. I'm thankful for her, but we have conversation all the time. So I don't need to necessarily go and say that to her. She's already sold, right? But people who are not already on my team, not already are taking the products or whatever. And I've done it with some of the people who are kind of on the outskirts, right? Like some of the people who buy every once in a while, I've still messaged them to like keep that conversation going. Some of those people who maybe you reach out and they don't really ever want to talk about anything, but you know, you just want to kind of keep the relationship going. So anyway, messaging those people who have seen your story but aren't with you yet. And I think that it's brilliant. I think that it has gotten tons of conversations started for me. And some ideas of just how to do that. I'm not pitching them at all. I'm not talking about products. I'm not talking about my company. Nothing. It's not about that. It's just about the relationship part of it. And so I go personally to the first slide, and I know that some of those people that see the first slide don't click to the second, and that's fine, but I'm using the first one because it's more people to talk to. And I'm just messaging them and saying, you know, if it's Monday, you know, I hope you're having a great start to your week, you know, whatever it is, just, you know, was thinking about you, you know, whatever, just hi, make it personal. If it's today, I might just message them and be like, oh my goodness, thankfully it's a short week this week, you know, really excited. Thanksgiving's coming up. Do you have any plans? You know, get some sort of question out there that you can kind of make it personal and ask them. Change it up each time. Again, if you're messaging, if you've got 200 people who watched your story, you don't want to message the 100 of them who aren't on your team and talk to them with the same exact message every time. Facebook's not going to like it. You're going to be in trouble for messaging the same thing. So even just kind of changing it up with your first, you know, hey, Robert, hello, Donna, you know, that kind of thing can even change it up enough, adding emojis, that kind of thing. So if you've done stories, I want you to go and look at your viewership and send a couple of messages out to some people who have seen it. If you haven't done stories, hopefully you've got some people who are already looking, since we put out a little bit of content here in the first part of the hour. And see if you can send out a few messages, just 2 or 3 to get started, but the goal being messaging people that, you know, all of them. Don't message the same person every single day. If the same person is watching your story every day, that's creepy, right? Don't just keep doing it. If you message somebody and then, you know, a week later you message them again and they never respond, like maybe they're not somebody who wants to talk, and that's fine. I wouldn't continue, you know, bothering someone. You know, just kind of feel it out.
Yeah,
but if you have
conversation,
it's really started a lot of good conversations with people. Just in general, you know, last week I was able to say, you know, I hope you're having a great week, and, you know, whatever was my opener, kind of the same thing, you know, oh, it's Monday, make it a great one, whatever. How are you doing? Oh, I'm doing really well. How are you? They throw it back to me. So I say, oh, I'm really great. We're actually on vacation this week with the kids, spending time at the beach. Oh my goodness. Then they're talking about the beach and how much they love it. And then they're talking about the weather wherever they are, that it's cold. And guys, a lot of time they turned the conversation to my products on their own. I didn't have to say anything. Oh man, Lacey, I've been meaning to reach out to you. I've been seeing that testimony. You know, I'm gaining like crazy and I can't make this stop. I've been meaning to talk to you. Like lots of those conversations came up. So there's tons of people on your Facebook wall, on your friends list, that really do want what you have. They're just needing that is in the follow-up. It really is. But just connecting and putting it out there. I didn't say things about my products once to anybody, even if it was somebody who, I don't know, that I needed to follow up with, or, you know, it wasn't about that, but lots of them turned it back to that. All right. Let's see. Then we just have a couple more minutes. So I guess the last thing that we'll do is Elisa put out a random act of kindness challenge. And so just wanted to throw that out there to everybody to remind you all, and hopefully maybe give some ideas for that. So we can do that. There have been a lot of different ways that people have been doing it, and just hashtagging it RAK, Random Act of Kindness. And there are ways that we can do it just to give and to, love on people. It's that time of year where that's really, in everybody's minds to maybe adopt a family, or that you're going to be bringing in lots of toys and stuff for your kids, and they've already got too much of that. So kind of going through rooms and getting rid of some of the gently used stuff, or even new things that they haven't even played with yet. Getting all that stuff and donating that. Paying it forward in the drive-through. That's a good way to do it. And a way that it can both be giving and benefit your business that several people have been doing that I've seen is like trial giveaways. And so if you wanted to do something like this, it's totally up to you, but an option is to put it out that, you're doing this giveaway. And so who hasn't tried my products yet? I am, feeling generous. I want to give away a week of our combo, or, 3 or 5 or whatever you can kind of invest into your business. Another way that I love is having that person tag someone who deserves, so they get to be a part of the random act of kindness, right? So I can say, Robert can comment on my post and say, I nominate Donna because, I know that she would benefit from your products and she loves this or whatever. And so then everybody gets to be a part of that random act of kindness. So just wanted to throw that out to everybody to be watching for ways that you can do that, and to hashtag it RAK. I know Elisa is looking at those.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a great way to end it.
Yep. So we are going to hop off. Thanks to everybody for being with us today. Hopefully you learned a little bit more and can challenge yourself with stories and have some success with that.
Yeah,
so
definitely
keep it up.
And like I said before, to adjust as you're going through it. She's learning. She's teaching me a lot. I'm about to get into it too, and I just plan on really just watching viewership and really just and adjusting as you need to. Maybe it's little adjustments, maybe it's big adjustments, but being open to do that.
Definitely. All right, you guys, have a great day. Thanks for being on with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.